and gentlemen, and welcome back to Up the U's, the channel dedicated to my love and hopefully your love, all things Colchester United. We're back this week with another review, and this is the review of our 3-1 home win against Harrogate Town. A game that we probably going into thought was going to be a bit of a sort of why did I come to this game? But actually turned out to be quite a nice game. Another hat trick for a Colchester United player, and this time for Super Harry Anderson. I'm joined by my good friend Steve. Steve, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Now you was at the game on Saturday, but you do actually have a little bit of a background to football. Do you just want to explain what your background is?
Yes, I've been coaching for about 17, 18 years. Of course, all different sort of levels. I hold a UFB coaching license and a youth award. I've been fortunate to be a scout for Cole Youth for a year or two, which I don't do anymore. And yeah, uh, that's what I bring to the table.
Yeah, no. So it's actually quite nice to be able to get you on because for me, what when we were watching the game, Harrogate scored a very nice goal. But then obviously chatting with you, it's also something where you look down and go, well, it could have been defended if this happened. But I suppose we'll get straight into it. To the average fan, like I say, Harrogate's opening goal seemed like it was some good play, some good passing play. Ball goes out wide to Duke McKenna. I don't know if he hits it on the volley or if he takes the touch and whips it in the bottom corner. And 3 minutes into the game, Harrogate are 1-0 up. From a sort of coach's sort of point of view to it, could that goal have been defended?
I think at the time where it's come across, you see in Darlow, he couldn't come out to the player out wide because he was defending the goal. And as soon as that ball's played out wide, he might have just not got over quick enough, might have not anticipated it going across. But as he's come across, he's put his body maybe a little bit too far across, and he's just whipped it through. But yeah, it was a really good goal to be fair. Great technique on the ball, nice stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, like you say, it's and looking back on the highlights of it, yeah, you do sort of see there is the player is out of the position, and as you say, it's probably more defend the goal first, and then if the shot can't be taken, they've made the pass, and then you just got to hope that as you're running across, maybe you can get your body in the way of it. But
Yeah,
no credit taken away to Duke McKenna. It was a brilliant goal, and he slotted it right in the bottom corner.
yeah.
In terms of Culture's goals, obviously, like as I mentioned in the intro, a hat trick for Harry Anderson. What did you make of his goals? The first goal, Anderson's a bit of an odd one because he's a left-sided midfielder, and Danny sort of mentions that he likes to come in quite a lot. Do you think that that was maybe you could see early on that that's the role that he wanted to play, or do you think that he just was like, I want to score, I want to score?
Yeah, 100%. Like, if you look at his positioning for the goals, he's quite central to most of the goals instead of being out wide. Um, but what I did love about his first two goals was the desire to get on the ball. So for that first goal, just that desire to want to score the goals, which was really good to see. Um, I think the fact that when gone to try and shoot and he's sort of come back and he's just in a little bit of space, he's just been able just to hit it nice and sweet. Um, so yeah, and one thing that I have picked up on Danny's pre-match was it's always the first action. You think he's not had anything on that first effort, first action. I'm in a bit of space. Let's go for it again. So yeah, it's good. Nice to see.
No, that is. I think it was nice to see for Colchester fans for Harry Anderson to actually sort of get that first goal. Like you say, it was the cross that come in from Vincent Young. He got his head onto it, and then it just fell to him in the right position and clean strike straight in the top corner makes it 1-1. And it seemed that the bus that they were about to park must have got told to go away. And then the second goal, again, it was just sheer will and desire from him to be like, right, I've got one, now let me go and get my second. And even a third. It was a fast break. Lisby with his absolute lightning pace hits Harrogate sort of on a counter. plays it to Reed, and you can see Harry Anderson just busting a gut because he knew that his confidence was high. He knew that that third goal was coming, and he took it brilliantly. Slid in, got the goal, bottom corner, Colchester a 3-1 up. Going into the second half, what did you make of that? Because I think we wanted to score another goal, but we didn't want to sort of go a bit too gun ho because we knew Harrogate could possibly get one back into it. It's 3-2, and it's a whole different second half. What did you make of the second half performance?
I think overall it was a performance that definitely protected that lead. Um, I felt that there was quite a few chances could have improved that lead. Quite a few good efforts in that second half, which the goalkeeper had to make some really good saves. And to be fair, like if it wasn't for the keeper, easily another Chesterfield possibly. Um, but yeah, I think that front three is really putting in a shift the last few games. And I think it was like, I think the last 6 games, I think it's 16 goals and 10 conceded. So you're scoring more than you're conceding, so you've got a better chance of winning the game. So yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, I think it was a stat came out at the before. I think it was before the Harrogate game that we were top for XG, which I always find a weird stat because it's like these are the expected goals for you to score, but I don't know how they come up with the stat. But yeah, it does seem like that the way we're playing at the moment, it has started to sort of click with us. What do you make as well of the sort of the dynamic? We've got obviously Danny in the dugout, and then we've got Nicky up in the gods. Do you see that as you can sort of see what they're doing, or
Yeah, I think that's a really a good working relationship there. I mean, I think we've seen it before in the past where Sam Allardyce used to sit in the stand and then he'd be down in the second half. It's always a good opportunity to sit up high and be able to see the whole picture because when you're at pitch level, you don't really get that view, shall we say.
yeah,
Obviously, the good communication between Nicky and Danny obviously is the key message there is good communication, see what Nicky's seeing and Danny's trying to make adjustments on the pitch throughout. But to be fair, I think overall the actual game was pretty decent. Considering the last few fixtures haven't been a goal fest, shall we say?
yeah. So obviously Harry Anderson getting the hat trick was obviously sort of like a standout player, and we've got Neil coming up later on in the episode, and he gives us his views. He's a Harrogate fan. Apart from obviously Harry Anderson bagging the hat trick, was there anyone else that really stood out to you? Maybe not in sense because they got a goal, an assist. Well, not goal because that was all Harry Anderson, but got the assist. But was there someone that you was watching and was seeing like their off the ball work was absolutely incredible? Was there someone that sort of stood out that maybe didn't stand out to everyone else?
So for me, it's definitely Arthur Reed. Uh, Absolute complete control of that midfield throughout the game. He was everywhere. He was setting up chances. He was getting back to defend. Lisby, absolute quality player. I think when he got subbed off at 78 minutes, you could tell the game just slowed right down a little bit, like where his energy, even at 78 minutes, just before that, he was constant. He's definitely got that Duracell battery in for the game to last. I think, mate, I think Edwards. I don't think he offered that much when he come on. He definitely slowed the game down. I felt. Mbic, for his age, he's definitely impressed me over the last few weeks. Keeping an eye on him, and I definitely think he's got a good future ahead of him. But yeah, Reed definitely is the one. If it wasn't Anderson, it definitely would be Reed as man of the match from Colchester's side. But I've got to mention their goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah,
Um,
James Belshaw, I'm pretty sure he's like 34, 35 years old. And he's still diving around as if he's 21. Some of the saves that he made, he's pulling them out onto the post, saving them onto the post, and then hitting him or hitting the
Yeah.
post and him saving it with his feet. Even the one early in the second half where Harry Anderson got a really good shot off of it, and he was able to get down a nice strong left arm and pushed it far out for a corner. Obviously, you mentioned him a little bit there, Micah and Bick. You've seen the sort of highlights of him, but you've physically sort of seen him play. 18 years old, striker coming in. Pretty sure this is his first sort of proper spell of football. It from what I've read as well, it sounds like because he's played for Charlton, I believe, in one of the cups, he can't play for another team this season. Which, if that is the case, what that's brilliant for us. Do you look at him and think, what a player, he's going to go on to something incredible?
Um, I think it's early days. You think back in the old days with Michael Owen, everyone thought he was going to be absolute dynamite, and a couple of injuries sort of slowed down his progress. Hopefully that doesn't jinx and Vic, but he's definitely got a bright future ahead, and hopefully he does continue that journey and develop into, I think, a really good player.
Yeah, no, I think he is one that I think Colchester fans are really, really excited for. I know me personally, I am. He was, and I think I may have even sort of tweeted about it, saying about him being possibly a panic sign-in, maybe being someone to come in and play in like the Virtue Trophy and stuff like that. But he's really shown himself, and he's sort of pushed Tavide to the side, and he is sort of showing Tavide because Tavide struggles to play in that one striker role up top, but Mbix sort of come in and go, right, look, I'll show you how to do it, sort of thing.
He's quite a physical guy as well, isn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah,
He puts
very
some
physical.
pressure out of it, and he does press well as well. He's
Yeah,
constantly after the goalkeeper, putting pressure on that back line. Very
yeah.
good.
So, what do you think this season for Colchester United? See, it's not started potentially the way that we wanted. We're currently sitting in 14th position after 13 games, 4 wins, 5 draws, 4 losses. Obviously, scoring 21 goals is pretty impressive, but conceding 18 is probably not the best. What do you make of what you've seen so far of Colchester this season?
I think obviously it's still early doors, early days where anything can happen. I think you're looking for about before Christmas, where Cole you are going to be around that time. I reckon that might give you a better indication than where we are right now. It's definitely a take every game as it comes, give 100% every game, and the 11 from Saturday, if they continue to keep playing the way they are, then good hopes that they are going to progress into top. I don't know, maybe playoffs. Maybe I'm not
Yeah.
gonna. Yeah, but that's a good target for Collier at this time. I think. Yes.
Yeah, at the start of the season, I had the guys, Aaron J from Beyond the Barside on. Absolutely incredible podcast that they do. I'll leave them links down below. Had them on and we done our predictions for this season. I said fourth. I think I said fourth, he said fifth, or the other way round. So we've put ourselves in the playoffs. Um, Saturday, Swindon away. Swindon are currently sitting in fourth. They haven't drawn a game yet, and we're quite good at drawing nil-nils and 1-1s this season. So maybe we can be the first draw. Um, what's your prediction going into Saturday?
I think after the last few games, it is important to try and continue the momentum of winning more and more. Um, but sometimes the more games you win, the more pressure you put on yourselves. But I think that 11 definitely shows some really good spirit, great desire, great character, especially going down within a couple of minutes. And then look what happened. It's like poking that ball, and what's happened is history there. 3-1 at the end. But yeah, I think with that front three, there's definitely goals in that game. I will definitely say that.
Yeah.
Maybe the same result, 2 or 3-1, maybe.
Yeah.
I
No.
think it's going to be quite a good game.
Hmm.
Yeah,
No, perfect. Yeah, Swindon they lost on well lost at the weekend 4-0 away from home to Accrington. So they're gonna want to bounce back. Ian Holloway has got them playing some really good, really nice football. So yeah, it should be a really good game. But Steve, thank you so much for joining me, mate. It's been decent to actually get a sort of different view on the game. But yeah, it was incredible, and hopefully get you through a few more games and get you on the channel again.
cheers, mate. Take
No
care.
worries. Awesome. Cheers.
Cheers,
So I'm joined this week by Neil, a Harrogate fan. Neil, how are you doing, mate?
I'm all right. Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Good, good. Let's get straight into it. A game that I think every single League Two fan, when they look at the calendar and they see Harrogate at home, they dread it. Everyone knows exactly what we're going to get when we come up against Harrogate. It's going to be a very difficult game. The old cliche of park the bus is going to be in full force, but it didn't seem to happen yesterday. Was it just bad day at the office, or is that something now that because so many teams have played against you now that teams are actually trying to work you out?
I think there's an element to that. I'm still trying to get over yesterday. It was a really particularly bad day at the office. Just to go back to what you said right at the start, yeah, I appreciate Harrogate are a funny opposition. I think the very first game of the season, Bristol, we played, we won 1-0. They totally underestimated what we were capable of. Um, I mean, they threw lots at us, but we can be. It wasn't illustrated yesterday, but we can be quite robust when we need to be. And again, pretty recently beating Gillingham. I think that was unexpected. But yeah, I think to your point, I think teams are now trying different tactics, knowing that we're going to just play the one up front. We're generally going to sit with two holding midfielders, which we did yesterday. But I've been mulling this over before our chat today, and I've been kind of thinking: was it a case of you were really good or we were really bad? And it's often the case. And I just thought yesterday we were really bad. And I don't mean to take away anything from what Colchester, what Collier did yesterday, but I just thought we were dreadful. Really not good. Really not good at all.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it's the exact same. When we played Chesterfield 2 weeks ago at home, we beat them 6-2. Any other fan would probably look at that and go, "Oh my God, Chesterfield must have been terrible," because when we played them, Chesterfield were in the playoffs, and it wasn't that case. It was Chesterfield were a very good side. They were passing the ball around well. They had some very good players. They were very regimented in the way that they played. But against Chesterfield, we were just ruthless. And it sort of seemed again that was the same thing that sort of happened yesterday. There was, I mean, within the first 5 minutes, you're 1-0 up, and every CoU fan, and I even tweeted it saying, "Here we go, here comes the bus." And the first 10 minutes, coach to fans and Danny Cowley himself were very annoyed because it was nothing like the past two games against Chesterfield, against Grimsby, and then it sort of just changed. What do you think it was that just after 10 minutes when it sort of seemed that you were going to potentially win the game 1-0, and then 10 minutes after 20 minutes you're then 2-1 down? What do you think it was?
Ryan, I think I know the answer to this very easily, and to every Harrogate fan, I think it's pretty easy. I think there's at the moment we are in a trough. I think there's a I don't know why it's going about the psychology of the game, but I think it's really apt in this circumstance. In that, I'm no Collier expert, but I reckon you've won your last three, four in a row. Your tails
Hmm.
are up. Even when you go a goal down, there's that kind of belief that we've got the skills, we've got the players who can dig us out of this. We've got the opposite problem at the moment. In the last three games, we've gone 1-0 up and we've lost every one of them. We haven't won a game in October. And when we scored our goal, lovely goal that it was by Stephen Duke McKenna, cracking goal from the lad. But at no point did you ever feel that air of optimism that we can either kick on here and score more or close up shop and park the bus, as you say. Yeah, I think there's a real issue at the moment with kind of belief that even when you go up 1-0 up, that it's going to push on into something bigger.
What do you think the reason is that it has turned to this? Because I've got the sort of when obviously the game finished on your official X account, Harrogate put up the result, and there's lots of people saying that get Weaver gone. People are saying seven defeats in nine says it all. Is it that maybe now? Because correct me if I'm wrong, Weaver's been in charge for a long, long time. He your manager when you was in non-league, and he's the one that brought you up.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, Conference North, Conference up. Um, it was his landmark game against Colchester. I think it's his four. I can't remember what it was. It was a big round figure. He's been there for donkey's years, and I think he's probably best known for the fact that he's the longest serving manager out of the 92 by some distance. It probably helps by virtue of the fact that his dad is the chairman, Irving Weaver. If you're asking me whether it's time for him to go, that's quite easily a no. That's quite simply a no. Harrogate are a team in Conference 2, arguably punching above their weight. Their ambition in the season is probably nothing more grand than to just stay in Division 2. In terms of playing budgets, in terms of ground capacity, we're at the bottom of the charts for all this. So for anybody to say that we should be further up the table, I think it's a tall order. I think it's a tall order for the lad. The fact he's kept us in there in the last 5 seasons, I think he's done well to do that. That said, we are on a bad run. I think something needs to change. Not necessarily in the direction of the management, but in how we play. And thinking ahead to this coming Saturday, we've got Newport, which it feels like a 6-pointer already.
Yeah. So in terms of the Harrogate side that you fielded yesterday, obviously we'll go through a couple of players that stood out from both teams. Is that your strongest starting 11? Was there maybe one or two players missing that could have maybe changed the game a little bit?
Um, Fox played in holding midfield. Who he played? I think he came on as a sub in the Fleetwood game before. He would normally not have played the season and would have been replaced with Morris, who started on the bench. He's been really good, Bryn Morris, since he signed from Newport. So I think that's probably one likely one. We've got some injuries up front as well. Muldoon has been going through a bit of a purple patch of scoring of late. Um, but you might argue if everyone was truly fit, he might not have got the berth up top. But yeah, other than that, what you've seen there is pretty much that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Like I say, obviously, the team that you fielded yesterday, the one thing, I had a friend of mine who is actually going to be on this video, but talking about the Colchester sort of side. First time he came to a Colchester game, and he chose the Harrogate game. So I was saying to him, on paper, this might not be the sort of best game to go for. And before the game started, he said to me, like, who are some players to sort of look out for? Duke McKenna. Straight away, I was like, he is a very, very good player. I think he was from Queens Park Rangers. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He was. So he was at Harrogate last year, but he went out on loan somewhere in Scotland, Hibernian, St
Yeah.
Johnson, somewhere up there. But yeah, prior to that, yeah, QPR was probably where he's best known for his
Yeah.
work.
And he was one that straight away I was like, he is a very, very technical player. He will be out wide, but he'll like to sort of try and drift in a little bit and sort of play as the sort of wide, sort of off the striker sort of player. And also James Belshaw in goal, a goalkeeper that's 35 years old, but still jumping around like he's 21. And when we played you last season, some of the saves he made were absolutely incredible. And even again yesterday, although he conceded three, I thought again, absolutely brilliant performance from him. Some saves onto the post and some saves where, as a Colts fan, you sat there and you're like, that's going to be a goal. And he's just got down low to his left or low to his right. And he's a very, very good player. The other one that I was very impressed with was number 22, Smith. I think he was playing like the
Yeah,
opposite side to McKenna. Another
yeah.
one that looked like, even though towards the end you're 3-1 down, and it was, I said to my dad, the next goal in this game could be quite crucial. If we get it, it'll be shut up the game. If you get it, it could maybe go on to a 3-3. And he looked very lively as someone that could turn the game around for you guys.
He's been a
Obviously,
real star performer this year. We got him
yeah.
from Smith from Maidenhead in non-league. And yeah, he's great with his feet, really comfortable on the ball, can get past the man, and he does the dangerous things that other players don't generally do. But he ends up with a good end result, and he looks like a standout player for us offensively.
Mm. So in terms of Colchester, we'll take Harry Anderson out of the equation, who got the hat trick. Who else was there that stood out for you?
Um, I think that the number one player, and I don't know how to pronounce his name, and big
Hmm.
lad up front.
Yeah.
He looked um, he looked really good. He looked really good.
Mm.
So at half time, our big centre half, he got hauled off. I think he had a tough time against him, O'Connor, who's a seasoned League One, League Two player. I think he had quite a torrid time with him, really. Yeah, just is he young? Is he young? He looks young. I mean, I don't really know too much about him, but he just looked like he had it all. He
Yeah.
looks an exciting
So
prospect.
so he came into us on deadline day about 40 seconds, I think, before the window shut. He's on loan from Charlton, 18 years old, and once he joined, every Colts United fan was exact words were, "This just screams panic." This just we needed to look at bringing in a striker. Tavito, unfortunately, has sort of dropped off a little bit. Will Goodwin picked up an injury, so we needed to bring in another striker. And as soon as he come in, everyone was like, "This panic." 18 years old, first sort of real spell out on loan. Every Colts United fan are now going through and deleting that tweet, and he is
Mm,
absolutely incredible. Colchester, Colchester fans are worried that this is going to be another Joe Taylor incident like we had a couple of years ago, where playing really well, scoring goals in January, gets recalled, goes to a League One club. Hopefully, this doesn't happen because yeah, he's just an absolute bright spark, a real talent, and like I say, he's 18 years old and he's
yeah.
holding the ball up like he's a seasoned pro.
He really was. He was good. So he stood out totally for the right reasons. I can't say much about your goalie or your defense because if I'm being totally candid, they didn't have an awful lot to do. But I think there was three other players that stood out. As a pairing, you're kind of I'm saying you're holding midfielders. Bishop Reed, they sat a little
Hmm.
bit deeper, really good. They went out to I think often with Harrogate, they will use their fullbacks or use a width both sides to try and get round, and I thought they kept helping out their fullbacks tremendously well and just generally controlled it from there. The other one, and I'm just about to say his name, and I'm wondering if he was related to Kevin Lisby. Lisby, he's not. He
Yeah,
is. Oh,
yeah, it's
Jesus.
his son.
I'm old. Yeah, okay. Well, I thought he was good as well. I was expecting Payne to be the one that was going to attract my attention, if I'm brutally honest, because
Mhm.
I think in games gone by, he's always one who's stood out and done pretty well. But I'm not saying he was bad. He was just a little bit quieter. But those three lads, I think those two holding midfielders and Lisby, apart from the lad who scored the hat-trick,
Mm.
stood out. It was a great team performance, but again, I've got to temper that with the fact I don't think you had to do an awful lot. And again, I don't mean to kind of deflect any joy or light away from your performance. We were just really bad, but um, you didn't have to do much this time.
Yeah, to help to the fact of feeling old. So the Lisby we've got is Kyrus Lisby. His twin brother is at Peterborough, Kyrell Lisby. And then we have their younger brother, Kion Lisby, in our under 21s team. And I think there is a fourth Lisby brother floating around as well. But yeah, sons of Kevin Lisby. Um,
Mother Nature's not kind here, is it? God.
but yeah, no, like you say, I think yesterday it was. I think we looked really, really good, but I think it was a complete Harrogate performance that nobody expected. Like I say, everyone expected as soon as that first goal went in, you sort of everyone in the South Stand was just like, "Oh God, here we go." We thought it'd be a little bit later that you'd get your goal.
Yeah.
My dad even said he went, "Here we go, 87 minutes of oh my leg hurts, all this hurts," and it was one of them where I was like, "Please, if there's a footballing God."
Yeah, is that how we're perceived? That we'll wind the clock down and be a
Just
little bit? Wow.
Just a
Okay.
little bit, yeah.
Just a
And
little bit.
I think the worst bit was a couple of minutes after that happened, the ball got played through, and Harry Anderson went running through with Belshaw. Belshaw came out, really solid sort of save, went down, but then was like, he probably got the ball into the gut, and he was like holding his gut a little bit. And I went to my dad, I went, "There we go, Belshaw's going to play on that now." Every time he
He's an
kicks
old
the
man.
ball, be like, but yeah, that's the thing. He's 35 years old, so he probably was a bit
Yeah.
like that. Actually, really hurt. Um, Obviously, at the moment, let me just bring up the league table. Harrogate, you're
Because
sitting in 19th.
Yeah, because I
Are
think
you?
I think we started, didn't we? We started. I think it was goal difference was just
Mhm.
separating us. So on paper it was close, but I mean, I look at your run of form into the game and our run of form into the game. It's no great surprise that you won that one. But no, sorry, I
Yeah.
cut across you.
No, that's what I was going to say. You're sitting in 19th on 14 points. Are you looking down at that dotted line thinking that's getting closer, or are you
Yeah.
thinking it's going to be another season where we're going to be in this sort of like bottom eight sort of area? We probably won't go down because there's teams worse than us, or are you now thinking, do you know what? Could this be the year?
You think that every year, you absolutely. I mean, there's a couple of seasons where we've kind of been safe by, well, safe or almost safe by March, where it's an easier running. But most of the time, you do. You look at the bottom all the time, and you look out for other results almost before anything else. Yeah, to be honest, right now, absolutely. Looking at our run of form, looking at how we've been playing, definitely looking towards the bottom. Um, I think the worrying thing is as well at the start of the season, we kind of looked at a few of the clubs, maybe Newport, maybe Cheltenham was a good example, and we were thinking, as long as there's two teams worse than us. But I mean, Cheltenham got a result the other day. I mean, they've certainly turned a bit of a corner now, so they're going to be clawing their way out of it. I fully expect them to. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's always like this. But that said, I mean, we've been in this position even lower in the league before, and we can string some results together, get a bit of momentum. So yeah, God willing, we can do it again for this lonely team up in North Yorkshire, where you know exactly where Harrogate is now.
Yeah, yeah. I was walking. We said about this just beforehand because you mentioned it was like the accent won't be anywhere near like where it is. And as we were walking into the ground, I said to my dad, I went, "Where is Harrogate?" Because I didn't know if it was like a Port Vale sort of thing where it's like the team isn't named after where they're from, but he was like, "Oh, they're Yorkshire based."
Yeah,
Um, but your next game, like you mentioned earlier, your next game is against Newport, who. They got a 1-0 win against Accrington on the 11th, and then obviously yesterday lost 2-0 to Cheltenham. If you win that, that puts you on 17 points. Results go your way, and then you're sitting in 14th. So it's sort of it's what it's I think it's in that sort of we're still in that early stage. There are sort of some
Totally.
teams that are like teams up at the top that are starting to sort of walk away with it, sort of thing. There are teams down the bottom that are sort of people look at and they see that they're struggling. Um, I think it could be another year which Harrogate fans might not enjoy this. It could be another year where it's the sort of bottom eight sort of area. I don't think you'll go down. I think there are definitely two, if not three teams that are really showing themselves as being quite poor in this league. Are you are you on the boat of? I think you mentioned a little bit earlier with Weaver. Are you let him carry on or?
Yeah, yeah. I think he's earned the right. I mean, like I say, he started us off. He's in Conference North and then Conference and then League Two. He's kept us since going up. I've already talked about the budget. I think what he's done is, yeah, it's not a miracle, but yeah, it's not as easy for these bigger clubs, and I could reel off loads of them, but most of them in League Two are pretty much bigger than Harrogate. I think I don't think you can just look at the club in isolation without looking at all the other things that kind of the other levers that are in play to make sure that a club either stays or doesn't stay in League Two. And I don't think we're going to be able to get somebody else out there who is better, who knows the nuances of the club, um, and that playing budget. So no, I'm definitely not in favour of him going. Adapting his style, maybe changing some things. I think often a thing you hear in the crowd. Kind of waged at Weaver is he's often too slow to make a change. If things aren't working, he leaves it too long. Um, I mean, he's a football manager and I'm not. I'm just some scouse bloke in the crowd, but he knows his onions more than I do. But there are times where it's clearly not working. I don't know if it's pride or personnel or he's got people on the bench who aren't fully fit. But sometimes he's too slow to invoke a change.
Yeah, perfect. Neil, best of luck for the rest of the season. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you this afternoon.
This
Um,
afternoon,
this afternoon. I think you'll get 3 points at the weekend, and then I think that will sort of maybe bring some more fans round. But I
yeah,
seem to say this
he's
quite a
hoping.
lot. I seem to say this quite a lot, but I think that's because I haven't spoke to a Newport or Crawley fan yet. You'll be all right this season.
I'm open
But
to, and it'd be remiss of me if I didn't say, and I said to you offline, big thanks for Eastman. Them several years ago. That loan
yeah.
saving absolutely saved us. So big up for him. Good
Yeah,
lad.
it was it
He's a
was it
hero.
was a very odd one when he went out on loan, and the fact that he went out to Harrogate, he is like an Essex sort of lad, and yeah, he was one that even when he was on loan, we were keeping an eye on him, seeing him do really well, and yeah, he's over at Moldon and Tiptree now, and I think he's still just being an absolute unit at the back. So yeah, awesome, Neil. Thank you very much for joining
All
me,
right,
mate.
pal. My pleasure.
And
All
yeah,
the
like I
best for the
say,
season.
and you, mate. Take care.
Danny, another home game, another home win. You must be really pleased with how we're starting to play.
Yeah, I think so. It's great to win 4 games on the trot. Never easy at any level. And yeah, I was really pleased with the outcome for sure. Pleased for the players, the staff, the supporters. I wasn't over enamoured with the performance. I thought it was a bit of a roller coaster, some real highs, but also some moments that we could definitely improve on. I thought too generous at the beginning. Gave herself a real difficult mountain to climb. But credit to the group and the resilience and the grit that they showed. Second week in a row that we've come from behind to win the game. But yeah, I thought first half too generous and probably second half not ruthless enough. That's just how I saw it.
Yeah, and you say about not ruthless because I mean we scored 6 against Chesterfield. We probably had just as many big chances today.
Yeah, I think so. I think we should have been 4 at half time. Pleased for Harry, he scores 3. He's a great kid and he's so selfless and so team orientated. So it's lovely. It's lovely when the selfless boys, the really team orientated boys, get their name in the highlight in the highlights. So yeah, pleased for him. He could have had more for sure. I never like to give him too much praise, and of course, yeah, we created more chances in that first half, and then again, certainly the front part of the second half, and you just know that when the game is that open and you're having as many chances as we were, if you don't find that fourth goal, and then they find one back, then that can really flip the momentum of the game. It can almost be like a triple whammy. So we were conscious of that throughout, and yeah, like I said, there were some bits, some of our play, some of our the way that we were able to speed the game up was really exciting. But also there were some moments that I'm pretty sure when we look back we'll want to improve on moving forward.
And one not so good moment was Kane Vincent-Young going off injured. How is he? You know, how did it come about?
Yeah, it's a nasty one. It's obviously right on the other side of the ground. He's put two of his teeth through his gum, so they've gone right the way through those. So we just couldn't stem the blood, and he wanted to stay on, but we couldn't stem the blood and the blood flow. So Rob come on, which is never easy to come on in that moment, and I thought we did a really professional job for the team.
And overall, though, like you say, 4 wins, it gives us something to keep building on going into what's going to be another really difficult game.
Yeah. Well, we know we have some really tough games to come, but we know that we're in a good moment. I think we play with a really good rhythm. I would have liked to have been more ruthless than we were. I thought Michael and Beat was terrific with some of his link and hold up play, but there's 2 goals for him today. I think Kyrie's, some of his penetrative runs and his movement and the timing of his movement was excellent. But again, he would have liked 2 goals today. So yeah, I think what is exciting is that we have a lot of good young players that are doing well, but they still have more to give. And I think, yeah, like I said, when we look back on that game, we've taken 3 points, which we're obviously so delighted about because it's so difficult to win in this league. But the team has also grown because there's a lot for us to still keep working. And like first half, our defensive line was far too deep, and as a consequence, the distances between the team were too big, and we couldn't defend with the intensity and aggression that we wanted to, and that's why we had such a poor way in. So some good learning. Some really good play, 3 points. I want the supporters to go away and be really happy, of course. But for us, we'll be in Monday and we'll look at the game back and keep trying to get better.